Hey, welcome to another edition of Blue Jay Banner. It's Friday, and today we're going to end the week with a little conversation with our head volleyball coach, Brian Rosen. Hi, Coach.
Hello, how are you?
Great. How you doing? How was your summer?
Life is good. Summer's good. This is, my favorite time of the year where you're not worried about wins and losses. You're just in the gym getting better. This is fun.
There you go. Although yesterday felt like October, but other than that, it's been hot. Yeah.
True story.
We're going to touch on a bunch of different topics, but I think first off, I just want to say, what about Trinity's late spring and early summer? That was kind of came out of nowhere for everybody. But it's true that you were the one who talked to her about it, right?
Yeah, I was a longtime high school coach at a small private school, and so I've always loved and admired the 2 and 3 sport athletes. And I was not a great athlete, but I was a multi-sport athlete back in my day, and so it's just always something I've loved and admired. And as we were recruiting Trinity, I kind of read in her bio that she was pretty good at track, so I started looking her up, and I was like, oh wow, she was like best in Canada, good at track. And so I showed her numbers to our track coach at the time, and he was like, yeah, those are like world-class kind of numbers. And so I didn't really bring it up in the recruiting process. And when she got here, I just kind of casually asked her, would you ever be interested in doing both? And she was, I never really thought about it. Her previous school did not give that as an option. And so she had never thought about it before. I said, well, think about it. And at that time, the indoor season was going on, and she thought about it and said, I just don't think I can do both. I said, okay, no worries. Like, let's talk about it again when the spring comes. And it came, and she decided to give it a shot. And I told her Coach Gannon, who was our track coach, just stepped down, and he is just one of the best people I've ever been around. When you talk about a coach with no ego, I mean, that is him. And I knew that he would take care of her. I knew that he would put her best interest first. Whereas, I don't know if I would have let her do it if I didn't know and trust who the coach was. But he did such a great job kind of giving her the time and the space to figure things out. We don't even have a jump pit here at Creighton. So she went to her first meet having not jumped into a sand pit in 2 years, and won the whole thing. And then she won a couple other meets, and then she won the Big East Championship and won first jump. She won the whole meet, and qualified for the NCAA tournament, which for us was what an accomplishment. Just be done there.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And then she decided to personal best in Eugene, then she finished high enough at the regional to go to Eugene, and ended up coming in 6th in the country. All-American. I mean, it's you couldn't tell, anyone would tell you that story's fake. And so it's just incredible. And she's such a hard worker and a great young woman. And I think coming into it, she was like, I just want to try it again. I want to get my love back for track. And now she's talking about going to the Olympics. Now she's talking about winning a national championship. And so it's been really special to see that change. And Coach Gannon is no longer the head coach here. He stepped down to do some other things, but he is still going to stick around to train her. And so he will still be her jump coach here at Creighton.
Oh, he's no dummy.
No, he's not. He's not. But it's been incredible. They brought me back actually a little pin from the meet, and so it's been a great relationship between the three of us, and he's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know though. Now when you go recruiting, the recruits are gonna say, "Well, I'm gonna go to Creighton because in 6 weeks I can be an All-American." It's like,
Yeah, we have. I had told the thing we did recruit Trinity with was how many All-American outsides we've had here at Creighton, and it's a lot. I think we're at 12 straight seasons with at least one All-American outside, and so we talked about her being an All-American here. Didn't know at the time we were talking about track, but I'm hoping she's going to be our first 2-sport All-American here, and Coach Gannon already laughed that next year she should be our female, Creighton Athlete of the Year if she could have a great volleyball season combined with what she just did with track. So, we're pretty excited.
So what was the skill she has that can bring to your team this year?
Yeah, obviously, as she's shown in all of this, she is an elite level athlete. She touches like high tens. She can dunk a basketball, and then she also can jump 20 feet, long. So she can just do some things athletically that I've never seen before. And she's a great passer. She's played at a really high level. She's been in Wisconsin the last couple years.
Right.
She was a blocking sub for them last year. She went in like the Final Four match. They threw her in to block against the other team's best outside or best right side hitter. Um, and what I loved, because she didn't have a lot of attacking on film when we were recruiting her, but she got two like pretty tough out of system sets within that match and took two great swings. And that kind of told me all I needed to know about the kind of confidence that she could have in front of 20 something thousand people in a Final Four match, that she's going to go after it. And we've gotten to see that in our gym for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. And, speaking of things that happened in the summer, Aiden had a pretty good summer too.
Yeah, and again, we've always encouraged our athletes when they've had the opportunities to do the USA stuff, and so she got a special invite to go and be a part of the U21, or I believe 21 team, and yeah, they won gold. She started in pretty much all of their biggest matches, and had a great final match to win the championship, and I think everyone got to see on a international stage like how good of a blocker she is. I mean, she is I just think one of the best blockers in the country, and she can score obviously offensively too. But what we've gotten to learn too is just how good of a person she is. Like she fits who we are and our culture really well. She wanted to be surrounded by people who care about her as a person and value her, and faith was really important. And so during the recruiting process, we'd kind of been told she'd narrowed down her list to a few other schools, and we just asked for, can we just have one phone call with her? And so luckily we were able to connect,
Wow.
and I think she could kind of feel it right away of just how well like we fit her goals and what she's looking for. And not that we're better than any of those other programs that she was talking to, we're just different. Like we're one of the only top 10 volleyball programs that's smaller class sizes, community based, like all those
Right.
kinds of things. And so and then she came on a really really quick visit. Honestly, like between one visit she came to us, and then we flew her right to another visit. And thankfully, even in a short period of time, she was able to kind of feel like what makes Creighton so unique.
Wow, that's an awesome story.
Yeah.
So when you put this roster together this year, what were some of the things like, I mean, obviously a great season last year, but you want to take it to another level, right? So what was, and you're losing Ava and Kiara, so what
Yeah.
was it that you really looked for? Was blocking one of those things that you thought you had to have a better scheme on?
Yeah, I would say 2 parts. Kiara and Ava, brought a lot of offense to our team. Ava Martin will go down as one of the best players in our program's history. I would say maybe the best. From an offensive standpoint, she's phenomenal, and so it's a lot of kills going out, and Kiara had, her career year last year offensively, just did some really special things, and so we knew, as a collective whole, we need to make up for the offense. I think what's going to be unique about our team this year is that we'll be much more spread out. Last year we were, we set Ava a lot of balls, and then we gave Kiara a lot of in system balls, and so
Mhm.
I think we'll have much better disparity of offense this year. But we knew we needed depth to replace the arms, and so outside was a big need for us with Ava graduating, and we knew one of our incoming freshmen who we think the absolute world of, but she's going to be out all year, coming back from an injury. So we just knew that that was a position that we needed depth in. And so Trinity was such a great fit in that. And, losing Kiara to graduation, like opened a hole. Like we always want to have 4 middles on our roster. And so we wanted to get the best middle we could get, and that's where Aiden fell in. And then Anna was our All-American setter last year, and so we wanted to add some depth into that position. And we have 3 setters in that group that are all really really good, all very different from each other. And so I think of my 5 years here, like this might be the deepest team uh, that we've had at Creighton, and so I'm really excited. Like our gym is competitive right now, and so that's been a lot of fun to see and to be a part of.
Talking with Brian Rosen. Let's go back to the middle a second. So this season versus last, compare and contrast.
Yeah. You talking about just for the middle position?
Yeah, yeah, in the middles. Yeah.
Yeah, obviously, I think Eloise Brandewie, like she came on the scene for us last year. We call her Wheezy. So she got to come on the scene for us last year. I think she's a fan favorite. She brings
She's my
just
favorite.
Yes, she's lots of favorites. She just brings such great energy, and I know everyone gets to see the super fun side of her. She's also an incredible leader, for our program. Like, I would guess, like, we will talk to the team about it. I'm gonna guess a lot of people say she's like, she is definitely one of the top leaders, of our team, and so, like, she knows when she needs to be serious, when to dial it in, but also, when to bring the fun and the faces, the noise, and all those kinds of things. And so I'm excited. She is just the fittest, most athletic she's looked in the time that we've had her. I mean, man, she is doing some special things in our gym right now. So we're excited for her to take on a bigger offensive role. And then Nora Wirtz is a middle that everyone got to see from a serving perspective last year. And she's one of the best servers in the country. But what a lot of people don't know is she's one of the best middles in the country. She is really good, and 6'4", 6'5", incredibly physical, can hit a lot of things. I think what's limited her previously was she was really good off 2 feet and struggled a little bit behind, and that's an area where she's gotten so much better in the last, like, since spring to now. Obviously, Aiden, who we just talked about in that group, and then we have a freshman, Campbell, uh, who, man, she is so athletic, and yeah, a little on the quieter side, so which is funny because that middle group is pretty loud and fun. And so she's getting to work with them every single day and is getting a little better every day. But man, she is super athletic, and we're excited to see kind of where her potential is. But yeah, our middle position is so deep this season.
Yeah, I think overall it's that's you know I hate to say we're taking another step because we've taken so many and we've gotten to such heights that it's hard to like get that another inch. But I think when you hear a coach say it's so competitive, like, we got so much depth and it's competitive and I could go a lot of different directions. That's when you've reached that next level.
Yes.
Now you're growing from the floor up.
Yeah, my assistants are giving me a hard. Yeah, we're gonna have some hard decisions. Come our first match against Purdue, and so that's the one negative of when you slide over from being an assistant to being the head coach is now all the I'm not the fun one anymore. I used to just be, oh, that was Coach Booth's decision. Now it's it's more on me, and so but yeah, we're excited about this group and the opportunity to make changes and to get people in the game, and because I do think we have people at lots of positions that we're going to be able to get in this season.
Speaking of which, so we kind of have two things here happening within like a year of each other. We replaced our volleyball coach and our men's basketball coach. So it's kind of similar. Both had been here quite a while.
Yeah.
How much like going into last year, like I know you have great confidence in your abilities, and you were here, so that's a little different too. In fact, both coaches were here, so that's a little bit different. You kind of know the lay of the land and so on. So it's not like you're walking in fresh. But how much was there as the season tipped off? Like you were, man, I can't screw this up.
Yeah, I think there is an incredible weight of following someone like Coach Booth. Uh, when I got to Creighton, I was a head coach prior to coming to Creighton, and I thought I knew everything. Like I was winning there, and I felt just incredibly confident. But I wanted to experience this at the same time, and getting to work with her and with Angie for those 3 years, like I learned so much in that time of like how to just be a little bit better in a lot of different areas. And I would not have been ready for this job 3 years ago, or 4 years ago, 5 years ago when I got here. And just getting to work with her uh, allowed me to make this move so much easier. Having her confidence, her telling me like you're ready for this, was everything I needed. To be honest, I actually have her letters right in front of me. It's something I look at like every single day I'm here in the office of when she left and I took over. And so we still talk every day somehow via text message or call or whatever. She's my first call all the time. And so like just having her in my life as a friend, as a mentor, as a coach, she's really special. But the pressure was for sure there. Yeah, we went to an Elite Eight. We were a few points short of going to the Final Four. And everyone's telling me you just lost 4 All-Americans. We lost Nora, Kendra, Elise Getzinger, Maddie Bilinovich. Well, there's no way that you're going to be able to do that again. And so for this team to kind of defy those odds and go back to an Elite Eight again was really special. And I'm just a small part in that. And but I do think because our whole staff stayed together, the whole team
Right.
stayed together, we were able to just keep doing what Coach Booth and what Angie started. And what I promised in that press conference wasn't about championships. It was we're going to do everything we can to keep this culture going. And so as we recruit, as we retain all of those things, we do it with that culture in mind. And so when you have these incredible women within this program, it definitely makes winning easier and a lot more fun.
Can you like take a breath after that? Now, okay, now I got to another Elite Eight, so you know
No,
now I can move on.
it's what I've talked about. Actually, I think the biggest change from moving a seat over was that I don't feel like I enjoyed it like I should have. I think when we lost to Penn State in that 5th set to go to a Final Four, like I was able to like take some time to sit back and be like, what a season, beating
Yeah.
Texas, going to the Elite Eight was just incredible. Whereas like this year we lost to Kentucky to go to the Final Four. Like that night I was on my computer looking at the transfer portal, figuring out our roster, like looking at our schedule for the next year. Like there was 0 time. It was, 5 seconds I was already like trying to make sure we have everything in line to do it again. And so I have promised myself just more grace, like more time to reflect on like how special it is that I get to coach a sport for a living and I get to be around these incredible people and the family, like my family is incredible to make all of this possible. And the things that my wife and kids sacrificed for me to have this incredible job is awesome. So I need to do a better job of taking the time to really reflect and enjoy it.
Uh, Speaking of scheduling, so yeah, that of all the sports at Creighton, like volleyball just seems to jump up on me the quickest. Like all of a sudden, I look and I think it's like 10 days away. Like what?
Yes.
Yeah. You have a couple exhibitions. You open at home against South Dakota, and then you go to KU.
Yeah.
Somebody that gosh, how many years have we played them? Not only regular season, but in the NCAA tournaments. It's been crazy.
Yes. Yeah, it's fun. So they changed the rule this year that we are allowed to play 2 scrimmages. And something that was really intentional this year compared to last year's, we start our season so tough, and I don't feel
Mhm.
like last year we played an exhibition that was going to prepare us for Penn State, who was our first game last year, and Colorado State is a really really good team. They just don't have the physicality that Penn State does, or Texas, who we played the second game, and so we really wanted to make it a point to play against the Kansas type team. And thankfully they were on board right away. Like, absolutely. We don't have a match this year. Like, let's make sure we still play. And so like they were fortunate to host us. And then we get to play South Dakota, the week before that. And so that's just a great, local matchup of another team that makes tons of NCAA tournaments. They're going to challenge us in a number of different ways. So they're going to present some different things for us that we just don't see in our gym. And then Kansas, hopefully, those 2 things combined are going to have us ready to go when we play Purdue, Minnesota, USC back to back to back to start our season.
Yeah, way to start the season in Sioux Falls, playing 3 Big Ten teams.
Yes, yeah, and why not? We love it. It's what we recruit with. When we talk to recruits, we tell them like we will play one of the toughest schedules in the country. The social media anti-Creighton banter is always, well, they don't play in a tough enough league. And all I can say is we played the second toughest schedule in the country last year. Not preseason schedule, overall schedule, second toughest in
Right.
the country. And we do that every single year. So there are almost no teams that play a tougher schedule than Creighton does, like year in and year out. And that's something we really pride ourselves on. we just do it a little bit backwards than maybe what some other teams do. But the Big East doesn't get enough credit. We've been the fifth best league in the country 3 years in a row now. We've sent multiple teams to the NCAA
Yeah.
tournament for the last, I don't even know how many years. Marquette's been to, I don't know, 4 of the last 5 Sweet 16s or something like that. So I think the Big East gets overlooked some. So it's been exciting that we've continued to get a little bit better. And so, but because of that, we schedule incredibly tough in the preseason. And so yeah, opening with 3 Big Ten teams, why not? It looks fun on paper, and they're great matchups and great coaches, historical programs, and we want to put ourselves against the best. And so that'll be a fun weekend. I have not been to the Pentagon
Oh,
before.
awesome.
I've heard, yeah, so I've heard from everyone it's just one of the best places to play. We actually have 3 future Blue Jays kind of from the area, and so we're recruiting in that area too, which is fun to kind of be there. And they've all told us that they're going to come watch, and it's close enough that our fans can drive and come see it too. So it was just an absolute no brainer for us to, and we'll be on like Big Fox for the first game, FS1 the second game, Big Ten Network the third game. So just great exposure for our program.
Yeah, I mean, I went there for the last time last year, and when I pulled in, it is like I was just jaw-dropping. I mean, this complex is
Really, yeah.
unbelievable. You've
I'm
got
excited.
the Pentagon's just a small piece of it. It's just like, "What is this?" Like,
That's
have I
fun. Yeah,
have
I'm
I
excited.
accidentally stopped at a US, training site or something? It's crazy. And then not only that, you go to the Rice Invitation, got Louisville, and then obviously go to Lincoln, play Nebraska, and then really cool, you got A&M coming to Sokol, which is awesome.
Yeah, the it all just kinda came together. So, yeah, so second weekend, we'll bring in, Arizona, Tulsa, Pepperdine, 3, top 50 RPI, NCAA tournament teams. Destiny, one of our players who just graduated, she's actually now at Arizona, so it'll be a little homecoming for Destiny coming back, so that'll be exciting to welcome her back to Sokol. I know our fans will give her a great ovation too. And then, yeah, then we go to Rice, 3 really tough, all 3 of those teams were top 25 RPI last year. You and I, that's just a longtime rival of
Yep.
Creighton. I'm really, really close with their coaches. Obviously, Coach Booth's daughter is the starting setter on that team. So there's lots of, we knocked him out of the NCAA tournament this past season. So there's a lot that go into that match. And then Louisville's a team that we've taken to 5, I think, 2 of the last 3 times we played or something like that, and we just haven't been able to get over the hump to knock them out. So it's always a fun matchup. 3 just great programs. And then, yeah, we get Nebraska at PBA. I was just telling someone today, like, that's just the dream match. Again, like, I was a head coach at a D2 program 5 years ago, playing in front of 100 people. I was the head coach or I was a coach at a Division I school before that, where we got under 1,000 people, and it was a great crowd. And I could have never dreamt of being a part of a volleyball match in an environment like that. And so I've been fortunate enough to do 2 of them here at Sokol, and 2 of them at Devaney. This will be my first time playing Nebraska at PBA. We did play
Yeah.
Penn State at PBA last year, but uh, to play in that environment really is just, it's a dream. It is such a special thing, and that was something Coach Booth, that my first year was at CHI, and I just Coach Booth told me, like, you got to make sure you look around at some point. And I just remember during the anthem, like, just doing a little circle real quick of, like, wow, like, I can't believe, like, this is what volleyball is like in Nebraska. And so, yes, we want to beat them, and it's an incredible rivalry, but, like, what a celebration of volleyball in the state of Nebraska. And so it's really special to be a part of. I get a lot of Nebraska fans that love coming up to me to tell me that they root for us in every game but one. And it's pretty rare for, like, rival fans to feel that way about each
Yeah.
other. And they don't feel that way in basketball, but
No,
in
no.
volleyball, there's such a mutual
Yeah.
respect between our 2 teams.
That's a great point, Brian, because I run into people, a lot of people that because Nebraska is, just known as a volleyball state, and I run into so many people that cheer equally for both teams. It's
Yeah.
It's
I just think that
pretty
there's such a
unique.
love for the way our 2 programs are doing it and the success that they can have and all of that. Because it's funny, I run into basketball fans, and they're always very one way or the other.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
you're either a Nebraska fan, like, there's, like, this bit but for some reason for volleyball, there's just this, like, love and passion for the sport, and then, yeah, so we'll get that match, and then we host K-State, who's just always a fun cross-town rivalry kinda thing too, and then Texas A&M, the defending national champs, coming to our place. That's awesome to get them in SoCal. That one's going to be on national TV too. And Jamie's a great coach. Obviously, what he did last year to beat Nebraska and to make that run to a national championship was absolutely incredible. And they now have a Marquette transfer on the outside who I'm sure wants some revenge against Creighton. And so that'll be a really fun match. And again, just another incredible opportunity for our fans.
How crazy is it? The volleyball team playing a defending national champion, the basketball team playing a defending national. It's crazy, crazy, crazy
To
stuff
be
at
the
Creighton.
best, you got to beat the best, right? Is that what they
That's
say?
right. That's right. Brian, thanks so much. Really appreciate your time, and well, you're gonna kick it off here in a few days. So best of luck, and we'll be seeing you down the road here.
Thanks and go Jays.
All right. Thanks, Brian.